Hey everyone, I wanted to take a moment to talk about something that I think a lot of us carry around every single day, even if we never actually say it out loud. It's that heavy, nagging feeling that you're somehow behind in life. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that pit in your stomach when you open Instagram and see someone you went to high school with announcing a massive promotion, or someone younger than you buying their first home, or a friend posting engagement photos while you're still trying to figure out how to meal prep without burning the kitchen down. We live in this world that feels like a giant, invisible race where the finish lines are constantly moving. We've been fed this specific timeline since we were kids: graduate by 22, have the dream career by 25, be married by 30, and have it all figured out shortly after. But the reality is that life is messy, unpredictable, and rarely follows a straight line, yet we still punish ourselves for not hitting these arbitrary milestones on time. The thing about this silent pressure is that it's a total thief. It steals the joy out of the things you've actually achieved because you're too busy comparing your behind-the-scenes footage to everyone else's highlight reel. You could have landed a job you really like, but instead of celebrating, you're worried because it doesn't pay as much as your cousin's job. You might finally be finding peace in being single, but then you go to a wedding and suddenly feel like you're failing at adulthood. We've turned life into a checklist, and when we can't check a box, we feel like we're broken. But who actually wrote these rules? Why do we feel like we're running out of time when most of us are just getting started? We are so obsessed with the when that we completely forget about the who, as in, who we are becoming in the process. I want to remind you that you aren't a car on an assembly line, you're a human being. There is no such thing as being late to your own life. Some people find their passion at 20, and others don't find it until they're 50. Some people marry their high school sweethearts, and others find the love of their life in their 40s after a lot of trial and error. Neither one is ahead or behind, they're just on different paths. When you constantly tell yourself you're behind, you're basically saying that your current chapter doesn't matter because it's not the ending yet. But this chapter, the one where you're struggling, learning, and maybe feeling a bit lost, is actually where the growth happens. You aren't falling behind, you're just experiencing a season that someone else might have already finished or hasn't even started yet. So, the next time you feel that pressure start to tighten in your chest, I want you to take a deep breath and realize that behind is a made-up concept. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, because that is where you are. Your timeline doesn't have to look like a LinkedIn profile or a Pinterest board to be valid. We have to stop measuring our worth by how fast we're moving and start measuring it by how present we are. Let's give ourselves permission to drop the clock and just live. You're doing better than you think you are, and you have so much more time than you're giving yourself credit for. Trust your own pace, because the only person you're actually racing is a version of yourself that doesn't even exist.